Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be young and just as fit as you. And
Yeah,
I
look
lost
at you now.
Yeah, my back, and I had to stop. I'm not like you working out even this morning. I saw your Instagram picture. I'm like,
yeah, man, we got crazy.
seriously, how much time do you work out per day just to be in that form?
28 hours a day.
You are freaking kidding me.
And there's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, that's why.
See that?
Yeah. Okay, let me start with a compliment. I already had like a talk with Brett, and I just felt like he totally misunderstood me because like I have one thing to say about that movie. I was pleasantly surprised about that. In the beginning, I just expected something, you know, oh, it's Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, sandals, mythical. Oh, it's Scorpio King again? No, it's Hercules.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, what I was really surprised about is just that it's a story, and a story, very convincing one. And here comes the fun part. I was very surprised about your acting in terms of, I felt like this is the first time I realized he could do so much more than just like comedies or action movies. And I wonder, where's that coming from?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that,
Yeah.
by the way. I think, well, it comes from the material, by the way, where, you know, it's a movie that is not necessarily a franchise movie. It's a movie that doesn't have a cast of 10 other stars, and we have stars in our movie, but it's essentially me, and the story is on my back, and the story from beginning to end, all ranges of emotion. And so for me, it allowed me to stretch, which I was excited about. That's why I was excited about the script when I first got it. And then so there's that challenge as an actor, but then there's also a challenge, I think, as filmmakers. I know you spoke to Brett about trying to present a story that was just going to be different. It was going to be cooler, and hopefully definitive for our generation.
And is it true that you actually almost passed out for this particular scene where you're like in chain?
Yeah.
But I would think that but you should know like how to actually pace your force.
I appreciate that. Thank you. The one thing I thought, though, that's what I thought I did. The one thing I didn't account for, which you can only know if you go through it. So it's the I am Hercules, and in the mythology, just like in the movie, it's the moment where Hercules harnesses all his power. So I was screaming, I am Hercules, and adrenaline and energy and everything's coming up here. But what I didn't account for, man, is if you're doing that, and if you're in a boxing ring or whatever, or any type of battle, like you have some place to let your energy go. When you're chained, I realized it can't go anywhere but here. And so here, it went up here, I blacked out. It happened about 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, I usually have the same problem with when I work.
Yeah.
But again, finally, because we just have to dash here. Of course, I would like to know someone like you who's so physically apparent. Is it really that more girls are coming towards you and asking to ask your biceps, or is it more like guys who talk to you like, you know, what should I do and
It's
be
50-50.
like Hercules?
It's 50-50. It's dudes wondering, hey, what should I do? Tell me about the diet. How do I work out? How do I change this? How do I not lose muscle mass but lose fat at the same time? How do I get against that? And then it's women who, but there's the thing, they just don't want to feel my arms because they can feel anybody's arms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with what you could call an arm. So, and how many times did you have to like turn down a role because they asked you just to lose weight? Because Hercules, I mean, I thought as an actor you were brilliant in that one, but also like I see this physically challenging thing. But how many times do you have to turn down a role?
I haven't, not to get small, because roles that come to me generally there's a sense of physicality to it. So you know, I don't get the roles where it's, hey, you know, you're a banker with suicidal tendencies. Like those roles don't come.
Okay. It doesn't matter. I always wanted to do that once I meet you.
That was good, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, bro.
In diesem Moment, an diesem Tag, werdet ihr zu dem Mann, zu dem ihr geboren wurdet.
In my mind, you get one shot at the iconic Hercules. So I really wanted to make sure that the version I had in my head was the version that the audience saw on screen. And that was an experienced beast of a man. And with that, it required a lot of training.
Good. Excellent.
Each character had their own training that they went through for weeks and weeks and weeks before we even shot one foot of film.
The training and the prep for Hercules was months and months, about an 8-month process of training, diet, strength and conditioning, spending time with the director, spending time with the other actors. It's just what you do, you know, when you prepare for a role. But for Hercules, it was more daunting than ever before for me, all because it's Hercules.
Hercules.
This guy was as committed to building muscle mass and size, and it was thoughtful. It wasn't just bulking up.
I was in a match. I was wrestling at WrestleMania, and I wound up tearing 2 tendons off my pelvis. I was like, fuck. Because that's some good pain. And it's always fun when the doctor comes out of the MRI and he looks and he goes, I go, what do you think? And he goes, well, what I think is I don't know how you're walking. I said, I don't know how I'm walking either. It hurts. So we're at a crossroads now with this because there's been months of prep for Hercules and the entire crew has been over in Budapest for months now. If I elected to have surgery and have the tendons reattached to my pelvis, then that would have been out a year. Then the movie would have been pushed, and in all likelihood, if the movie's gonna get pushed for a year, we're probably not gonna make it.
Oh man, I was nervous. He really hurt himself. And I said, how are we gonna do this movie? He goes, I'm here for you. I don't want you to worry about it. I'm gonna fix this.
So I elected not to have surgery and just rehab, and over time, hopefully the tendons would just kind of scar tissue up and I'll be fine and maybe not walk with a limp. But I wanted to keep the movie intact. That was important. But ultimately, the tendons being torn off my pelvis had weakened my abdominal wall. So 2 weeks before we were getting ready to go shoot, I have to have triple hernia surgery. And again, it's just fun pain. It's so fun, I love it. So I had that. So then we had to push the movie by a couple of more weeks. I'm so grateful for the team of people I had around me who galvanized and felt like, all right, you have no tendons on your pelvis. You just had triple hernia surgery. You're here in Budapest. We are all gathered around as one big team, and we're gonna make this happen.
He's so disciplined as a person, so focused on his training, that he rehabilitated himself probably 5 times faster than anybody else would have been able to. He was committed to this.
For the next 4 to 6 months, we made it happen. We shot an amazing movie, and I'm very, very proud of it. And little by little, I got better, and all in all, Hercules has a very strong pelvis.
Ich bin Herkules!